Hello students. So yesterday we had completed the chapter 8 and today we will start with the chapter 9, that is living organism and their surrounding. So whatever the thing which is present in our surrounding, like that of the living things, non-living things, physical things, or that of the chemical factors, etc., all these things we include them in our environment. Okay, there are some factors also on which our ecosystem depend. The interaction between that of the living components as well as that of the non-living components. Living components that include the plants and that of the animals. Non-living component which are very essential for us because we interact with them, without them we cannot live, that is like that of the water, soil, air. These all are a non-living component, but they are very essential to carry the process of a living organisms. The living organisms and their surrounding. When we talk about the surrounding, students, you see that there are different types of a surrounding in different parts of our country. You see the mountains, like that of Himalaya, is a very cold place. And according to that surrounding, a kind of a trees or a kind of a animals are found there, like oaks, pine, deodars, or if you see yak or mountain goats, these all are the living organism which is basically found in the mountain areas. If you see the desert area like that in the Rajasthan, you know the habitat of that of the desert is very hot and dry. The desert area, because of its surrounding, are having a special type of a plant which can store a good amount of water, and like that is a cactus. And if you see the animals, you know camel, they are very good in storing the water in their bumps. Okay, now if you see the coastal area, coastal, it means sea area, seashore area. That seashore areas is a very humid, that is very humid area, and because of that they are also having a different kind of a trees, like that of a palm trees. The seawater it also contain another kind of animals, like that of the fish or crabs. Okay, so from this we come to the conclusion that if we see that of the mountain, or if we see desert, or if we see the coastal area, they are different from each other in their climate, and because of that they all are having a different living things in them, living things that include the plants as well as the animals. So, by this, we can understand that the kind of a living organisms, whether it is a plants or that of the animals, they are found in a particular region, according to their adaptation. Okay, so they are found in each of these surroundings, and they are different from each other just because their surrounding are different. Okay, so according to the surrounding, the plants, they can survive in that particular surrounding, so they are present at the different areas. Now you can see the same thing inside our home. You see that there may be spider or lizard or rat or the cockroaches. You can see it is a very common that can be seen in our house. If you see in the garden, uh, the garden is having a different kind of a plant, and a many type of a plant is there. And sparrows, crow, pigeons and squirrels, dog, cat, these are the animals that is very common for us. A cow, they are very common for us. They are found in almost all the places, in most of the places. Thus we can say that living things, they are found everywhere. In fact, there is no place on the earth where living things do not exist. Where you see a Arctic region, or you see a very normal one, that the North region, everywhere living organisms can exist. Even you see that the tiny living organisms, they can exist even in the volcanoes, in the opening of the volcanoes. So by this you can say that living things, living organisms, including that of the microorganisms also, they can exist at any condition, at any place, but they are present almost everywhere, almost throughout the this earth. Okay. Now, the living, or where they live, it totally depend on its surrounding, and is totally describe their habitat. Okay, and they are able to survive in that particular habitat just because of their adaptation towards that surrounding. Now if the surrounding is very hot, then you see that particular type of plants and animals can survive there, because they adapt themselves, they adapt their body themselves so that they can survive in such condition. If you see an animal or a plant that can live in a very cold places, it is because of that, because of such adaptation by which they can survive in the severe conditions. So it totally depend upon their adaptation, that how they had made their body so that they can survive in that condition. Okay. So this is the living organisms and their surrounding. What is the living organisms? The organisms which can breathe, which is having the property of a living organisms. These are the living organisms, or we can use the term that is living things. And the surrounding where they survive, where they live, where they are having their own habitat, that is their surrounding. So in this chapter we will see the living organisms and their surrounding. Now, you see, student, when we talk about the living things, so you see that around us, you see everywhere you find a living thing. Okay, so we can say a good variety of things which is present around us. But out of these, when if suppose you are somewhere and if you see around, you find that there are a lot of living things are there, as well as there are non-living things are also present. So I think you all are knowing about this living thing and non-living thing, but let me remind you about that, that what is living thing and what is non-living thing. So those things which need food, which need water and air for their survival are called living things. Okay, so they need to survive, they have to survive, and they survive with the help of a food, with the help of the water, as well as the air surrounding them. Now see, all the animals, they need food, they need water and air to survive or to live. So we can say all the animals, including that of the human beings, they all are living things. Like a boy, a cat, or a goat, or a tiger, or a lion. If you see cockroaches or a fish, insect, birds, squirrels, they all are living things, because they all are animals, and they have to if they want to survive, they have to take a proper amount of food and water, as well as that of air. Okay, so we can consider them as a living. Now, not only that of the animals, you see the plant also need food. Now, although we know that the plant they can prepare their food by themselves by the process of photosynthesis, even then we should not forget that the plant they need food. If suppose they do not get a proper amount of a sunlight, or if anything which interfere the process of photosynthesis, the plant will be not able to make its food, and thus plant will die. So by this we came to know that plant also need food. Even they make their food by themselves by the process of photosynthesis. But they need food, they need water, and exchange of gases must be there, because you know that they take carbon they take oxygen from that of the atmosphere, from the air, and with the help of the oxygen they make their food by process of photosynthesis. Not only this, they also take they also take I'm sorry, student, for the process of photosynthesis, they take a carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and by this they perform the process of photosynthesis. So carbon dioxide is needed for the process of photosynthesis. Not only this, they also respire for the process of respiration. They also need oxygen. So in a very simple way we can understand that the plant they need food, they need water, and for survival they need carbon dioxide, so that the process of photosynthesis can occur properly. So they need air also. So all the plants they are living things because they are fulfilling the requirement of a living things. Now you see rose plant or sunflower or a mango, even the creeper like that of the money plant, or climber like that of the bitter gourd. Okay, water hyacinth, that is a aquatic plant, or a cactus which is present in that desert area, or algae. These all are the living things because we consider them as a plant, and they can make their food. They need food, they need water and air for survival. So we can say that all the plant and that of the animals, they all are living things. Okay, all the animals, all the plants, they are living things. Now, just opposite to that, if you see that of the non-living thing, so the things which do not need food, water, and air for their survival, they are called the non-living things. For example, if you see the chair or a table, so you see, did chair or a table want food or water or air to survive? No. You know that there is no need of a food or a water for a table or a chair to survive, to live. Okay, so then we consider them as a non-living thing. There are a lot of examples of the non-living thing. I think you all are aware of that, like that of the water, like that of the electric bulb, or a cloth, or your bed, or a car, or a lamp, soil, utensils, bus, train, lot of things. Even the clouds and moon, we consider them as a non-living thing. Okay, so living thing, they need to survive, and for survival they need food, they need water, as well as they need air. But non-living thing, they do not need all these things for their survival. Now we can say that the living things, they are the organisms. Okay, because they have to survive, and that's why in spite of using the term that is living thing, we can use the term that is living organisms. So all the plant and that of the animals, they are organisms. Okay, living things are called organisms. So plant and animals are the living things, so they are also known as organisms. Now, when we talk about the biology, when we talk about the living thing, you know, student, that basically this science is divided into different branches. But biology is a term in which we study about living organisms. Okay, so we can define biology as a study of living organisms. So see, student, right now we discussed about the living thing and that of the non-living thing. We came to know that the living thing, they need air, they need water, they need food for their survival. While the non-living thing, they do not need food, water, and air for their survival. Living things, they are called as organisms, and because of that we can consider the plant and animals as organisms, because we consider them as a living thing, so they are now called as organisms. Now the study of these living organisms is called as biology. Okay, so biology is what? It is a part of a science, is a branch of a science in which we study about the living organisms, in which we study about the plants, in which we study about the animals. Okay, now when we talk about the living things, students, we will see the characteristic of the living things. They are having a various characteristics of that of the living things. So all the living things, they are having some of the common characteristics. When we talk about the characteristics, it means we are talking about the features. So they all are having some common features, and these features make them different from the non-living things. Or we can say that there are some things which is present in that of the living things, in the living organisms, which make it differ from that of the non-living things. And that something is the features, that something is the characteristic of a living things. Now the first one is that living things, they need food, they need water. So for their survival, they need food, because these food provide energy. Okay, these water help in maintaining the temperature, as well as it also give energy. So living thing, they need food, they need water for the survival, as it provide a proper amount of energy. But in case of the non-living thing, there is no need of a food and that of water. Need oxygen to breathe. You see, the animals, the human beings, they need air, they need oxygen to survive. Okay, student, so that oxygen help them to that oxygen is used up by the cell, and which help in the release of the energy. So we can understand in a simple way that they need oxygen for their survival. When we talk about the plant, they need carbon dioxide for the process of photosynthesis. Okay, so now the living thing, we can say that these living things, they need air also to breathe. Okay, whether it is a plant or that of the animals, in both the cases they need air to breathe. But in case of a non-living thing, you see that there is no need of such air, because they do not breathe. Okay, then the next one is it respond to the stimuli. If anything around them changes, then they respond, because they are sensitive. If something is sensitive, then that will respond very quickly. So the living thing, they respond to any changes which occurring in the surrounding. Okay, but you see that of the non-living thing will remain as usual, will remain same, even the changes, even any kind of stimuli occurred in the surrounding, doesn't matter for them. Okay, so the living thing, they respond because they are sensitive, but the non-living thing, they do not. Next one is living thing, they reproduce. So you see, student, they can have a young ones, they lay eggs. Okay, so for the survival, they need food, air, and water. But to increase their number, they have to reproduce. So these living things, these living organisms, whether they are plant or the animals, for their survival in the earth, for they want to increase their number. Okay, and this they can do by reproduction, by reproducing themselves. Okay, and they can reproduce a young one, or they can lay eggs by which their species will be continued. Growth and development. Living things, they grow. Okay, they increase in their sizes. When you plant a small plant, after some time you will see the size increases, and finally it will get converted into a large tree. So they grow as well as they develop. The same thing happened with the human being, the same thing happened with the animals also. You see, the animals, they were short and they started growing, and finally they become mature, and we can say they become fully developed. So the living organism, they grow as well as they develop. They excrete waste. You know, student, living organism, they get rid of the waste material from their body. So they remove the waste material which is formed in our body, either in the form of a sweat or in the form of a stool or from urine. But they used to excrete. But have you seen the excretion from the non-living things? No. So they do not excrete. They are not able to remove the waste material from their body. They need certain temperature. So they for their survival, they need a proper amount of a temperature, proper temperature, so that they can survive in that certain condition. Here it totally vary with the different animals. Some of the animals, they can survive even in the high temperature, some of them can survive in the low temperature, but the temperature should remain in the favor of that particular animal. Okay, so for their survival, they need a certain temperature. They move. Yes, the living organism, they can move. They can change their place. They can locomote. So they can locomote from one place to the another. You have seen the animals for searching the food, to protect themselves from the enemies. They used to move from, or they protect themselves from the harsh condition of the climate. They move from one place to the another. They can change their position from one place to that of the other. Although in plant, the plant will remain fixed, they remain stiff at a place. But you have seen the branches, they move. Leaves, flower, fruits, stem, they all move when the wind blows. What does that indicate? That there is no locomotion. It means it is not, the trees are not able to change their place from one place to the other. They cannot locomote, but movement can occur. They can move their branches, they can move their leaves, they can move their stem. So you see, the movement of a particular part of the plant is possible, but the locomotion is not possible. But ultimately it can move, it can show the movement by themselves. Okay, but the non-living thing, they can move until and unless you are applying a force on it. If an external force is applied on the chair, if you push a chair, you are applying a force, and due to which it will be able to move. Otherwise, by its own, it cannot move. Okay, so the living thing, they can move by themselves, but the non-living thing, they cannot move by themselves. Living thing, they respire, they release energy from food. You know, student, when we take food, these food will go to the cell, and there the oxygen is used up, and by that energy is released. So why we take food? We always say that we should take food because food gives energy to us. Yes, that is true. The living thing, they respire. By the process of respiration, energy is released from the food. Okay, so the process of respiration is carried out by the plants as well as by the animal with the help of oxygen. So both of them, either that of the plant or that of the animals, they use oxygen for carrying the respiration process, by which it releases energy from the food. Living things, they have a definite lifespan. Okay, so these living things, they will die after some time. It means they can survive up to a particular year. They are having a certain lifespan. When we talk about the lifespan, it means we are talking about the time period between that of the birth of a living organism to the death of the living organism. That is the lifespan. Okay, it means if suppose I am saying that a human being is having a lifespan of 100 years, what does that mean? That a human being can survive up to 100 years. Okay, so lifespan is the time period from the birth of the living organism to that of the death of the living organisms. So the living organisms or living things, they have a definite lifespan, and after which they die. But have you seen the non-living thing? No, they do not have a definite lifespan. Okay, so they can be broken, or they can survive for many years. It doesn't matter. Okay, so basically they do not have a certain lifespan, but the living things, they have. So these are some of the characteristic of the living things which make a thing a living thing, and which feature is totally different from that of the non-living things. So these are the characteristic on which we can say that the living things, if they possess such kind of a feature, we can say that this is a living thing. And if it does not have such kind of a characteristic, we can say that is a non-living. So a living thing is a living thing because of the following characteristics. Okay. Food. So food is what, student? It is very necessary. Right now we study that the living thing, they need food to survive. So all the living things, they need food to stay alive. Without food, the living thing will die. Now we know that when we talk about the plants, they make their own food by doing the process of photosynthesis. While the animal, they obtain their food from the other living organism like grass and other animals. When we talk about the human being, even we feed on other living organisms. So you see, student, when we talk about the plants, the plant, they make their own food. Okay, they are able to prepare their food by the process of photosynthesis. Okay, with the help of a photosynthesis, they will prepare carbohydrate, and that carbohydrate is used up by the plant in the form of as a food. Okay, but the animals, they are not able to make their food, so they obtain their food from the plants or the other animals. So it totally depend upon the type of food they are taking, type of animal they are, in which they are grouped. If it is a carnivores, then they will obtain their food by eating the other animal. If it is an omnivore, then you see that they are able to take food from both, from a living organism, from other living organism, or by the plants. If we talk about the herbivores, they obtain their food from the plant. So cow is a herbivore, so they obtain its food from the plant. Okay, omnivores, human beings come in that, in which they feed on the other animals as well as they obtain food from the other plants. Now food, it gives material, the material for the growth, and it also gives energy. Why food is necessary? When we take a proper amount of a food, that food consisting of a different nutrient, these nutrients, these food, it help a living thing to grow, as well as it provide energy. Okay, now this energy is necessary to carry out the various life processes which is taking place inside the living things. Okay, so we are doing a lot of our body is doing a lot of our metabolic activities, and to do so we need a proper amount of energy, and that energy is basically given by the food. Now, if you consider this with that of the non-living thing, you find that the non-living thing, they do not need food, they do not need that energy, or they don't need to grow. Okay, and that's why they do not need food for their survival. A very good example, if you see water, or if you see a rock is there, a rock is a non-living thing. So if suppose you put a food over it or a water on it, will it going to change it? No. If suppose you will not going to give the food and the water to a rock, is it possible for them to not to survive? Yes, they can survive. They can survive without food, they can survive without water. So they do not need food for carrying their life process, for carrying their metabolic activities, or for the growth. It is the living thing which need food for growth and for energy. Okay.